It's Monday, March 28th, and this is now on HNN.
I'm conflicted.
Hawaii becomes the last state to lift the mask mandate, but many residents are opting to keep wearing them.
Russian military pressure isn't slowing in Ukraine as diplomats consider another round of peace talks. I'm Skyler Henry at the White House with the efforts to downplay President Biden's unscripted remarks about President Putin.
I was expressing the moral outrage that I feel, and I make no apologies for it.
Over the weekend in San Francisco, coronavirus infected passengers and crew disembark a cruise ship. It's now headed for Hawaii.
Oh, wow! Wow!
We got these stories plus the Oscar slap that is dividing Hollywood and raising so many questions. That's coming up on This Is Now. Good afternoon. Thanks for watching. This is Now on this Monday. You got Jonathan, myself, and Mark here in the HNN Digital Center. We want to get right to some developing news. You know, prospect for peace in Ukraine really seems remote at the moment.
Yeah, especially for the millions of Ukrainians whose homes have been destroyed or have been forced to leave the country. But peace talks are scheduled to resume soon. Skyler Henry brings us the latest.
Ukrainians in the southern city of Kherson took to the streets to protest the Russian invasion and occupation, as explosions could be heard in the distance. Pentagon officials believe Russia has launched nearly 1,400 missiles into Ukraine, but isn't furthering its advance on the capital city, Kyiv. The Kremlin says ceasefire negotiations will resume Tuesday. And Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he's ready for a compromise in the eastern Donbas region, which has been partially controlled by Russia-backed separatists since 2014. Here in Washington, President Biden is downplaying unscripted comments he made over the weekend when he said Russian President Vladimir Putin cannot remain in power.
I want to make it clear, I wasn't then, nor am I now, articulating a policy change. I was expressing the moral outrage that I feel, and I make no apologies for it.
Idaho Senator Jim Risch, the ranking Republican member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, called President Biden's comment a, quote, horrendous gaffe. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
All right, let's check in now with John Decker, Hawaii News Now White House correspondent. John, thank you very much for joining us. As always, a lot going on in D.C. Well, let's start with this. President Biden's approval ratings are the lowest they have ever been. What is contributing to this slide?
Well, that's right. Right now, according to an NBC News poll just released, the president's approval rating is at 40%. Just for comparison, when he began this administration, when he was sworn in as president, he was at 55%. Now, 55% disapprove of the job he's doing as president. A number of factors at play here. Those polled give the president bad marks as it relates to the way he's dealing with the situation in Ukraine. They give him poor marks as well in terms of the way that he is managing the issue of inflation, high gas prices, high prices at the grocery store. The one silver lining, he does get okay marks as it relates to dealing with the coronavirus pandemic, but overall, 7 out of 10 surveyed say that America is heading in the wrong direction. That's not a good thing when you're 8 months away, Mark, from the midterm elections.
Yeah, and you have the American citizens feeling the impacts directly of what is unfolding. Now, the January 6th committee has been making a lot of headlines. What are the latest developments there?
The latest development is today. The January 6th committee, remember that this committee was stood up to investigate all of the events associated with what we saw with that riot that took place at the Capitol. They want to speak to the wife of Justice Clarence Thomas, Ginny Thomas. Reason being is because the committee is now in possession of emails that Mark Meadows, the former chief of staff to former President Trump, supplied to the committee, and contained in those emails exchanges between Ginny Thomas and Mark Meadows, and it doesn't put her, quite frankly, in a good light. So the committee would like to speak with her. They have invited her to speak to the committee, and we'll see whether she accepts or declines that invitation. The committee could always subpoena her, but right now they've just issued an invitation for her to speak to the bipartisan committee.
And we'll keep a close eye on how that develops. And finally, John, President Biden's budget proposal for 2023 includes a billionaire minimum income tax. What can you tell us about that?
It does. It would only affect less than 1,000 individuals. And it really has no chance of passage. The reason I say that is because of how divided Congress is. It's 50-50 in the Senate. I don't think that this element of the president's budget proposal will sort of get enough political muster to pass in both the Senate and the House. May pass the House, certainly not in the Senate. You need 60 votes to move that kind of idea forward. And when you have a 50-50 Senate, Mark, it's so difficult to do that, particularly when you're talking about a midterm election year. So this, I think, is a political idea more than something that the administration thinks can actually get passed in Congress and signed by the president.
Hawaii News Now White House correspondent John Decker, always enjoyed talking with you. Mahalo nui for your time, John. Have a great one.
Mahalo. Thank you.
Now to the latest on the tainted water crisis. More federal money could be on the way to address the situation at Red Hill. Part of President Biden's 2023 budget proposal includes $1 billion to help defuel and close the Red Hill fuel storage facility. And today, Congressman Ed Case, who's also a member of the House Appropriations Committee, voiced his support for the allocation of funds, and the committee will review the request.
Now this next story has an important local connection. Passengers and crew tested positive for COVID-19 aboard a 15-day Princess cruise trip to the Panama Canal. It just returned Sunday to the port of San Francisco. Those affected aboard the ship, the Ruby Princess, were either asymptomatic or showed mild symptoms of COVID and were isolated or quarantined. That's according to a statement from the cruise line. The cruise line did not say how many guests and crew members did test positive or at what point of the trip they did so. The ship has since left San Francisco and is now headed to Hawaii. Keep in mind, the cruise line requires guests to show negative COVID-19 tests and proof that they were fully vaccinated at least 14 days before they start their trip. Vaccination rates for guests and crew members on the Ruby Princess were at 100% according to the cruise line. The company said those guests with positive test results who had not completed the required isolation period had returned home or were given hotel rooms for isolation and quarantine. You'll recall Princess Cruises suspended voyages for more than a year after COVID-19 outbreaks in 2020. And the state's Safe Travels program has officially ended. Travelers from the continental U.S. can now enter freely without submitting proof of vaccination or a negative test. Travelers we spoke to had mixed reactions.
We were prepared to come either way. Yeah, so it was no issue.
Yeah, we were prepared.
I'm vaccinated. I think it'll be great. It'll have a lot more tourism coming.
I think for the safety of everyone, maybe they should keep it in place. It was easier because there was no line to get those bands on. So it's easier, but I don't know how much safer it is, but it is definitely easier.
State officials say the Safe Travels program screened more than 12 million incoming passengers, but they now believe it's the right time to end the program. International travelers will still need to follow federal entry requirements.
Hawaii became the final state in the nation to drop its indoor mask mandate over the weekend, but as Sammy Salina explains, many residents are opting to keep wearing them when they go out.
If you went out shopping over the weekend, it's likely you saw a lot of people without their face coverings. At places like grocery stores, or at least the one I went to, I did see a lot of people that decided to wear their mask. Now, we asked people at Magic Island whether or not they took their mask off this weekend. Many of them said they'll be keeping it on for now. Even in the early hours of the morning outside, you'll see some people with masks on. We asked folks how they felt about the mandate in the first place, and a lot of people liked the idea of personal choice.
Kind of like it optional, because at this time, people should know what to do. I mean, we've been living with it for 2 years.
But the majority of seniors said they thought it was better to be safe rather than sorry.
I'll be 77 next month, and I want to live to be 108. So, anyways, I don't want this sneaking up on me.
Even though I've been in stores that have relaxed it, I just feel comfortable, at my age, to have the extra protection.
I won't be changing anything. You're so used to wearing it, and I feel much comfortable that way.
But there are those open to the idea of maskless outings in the right setting.
Well, I think it's good. I mean, we're starting to come back to normal, but, everybody still has their fears, and I think it's good to be a personal decision of whether you wear it or not.
It is up to the individual business on whether or not they're going to require people to wear masks inside. According to the Hawaii Chamber of Commerce, most businesses are going to give you that option. Sammy Solina for This Is Now.
Thanks for that update, Sammy. And I have to say, it does feel sort of unusual walking around and sort of deciding, do I have to put a mask on? Do I not need one here? Societal pressure because I see other people wearing it, and then...
Especially for the last 2 years, to all of a sudden go to this spot where I know this was expected for quite some time, but yeah. It is going to be an adjustment.
We always had the policy, once you leave your desk, you have to put your mask back on here, obviously, in your personal space. And then today, I just kept finding myself grabbing for it.
Yeah.
And not be, oh, wait, I don't need that today.
Yep.
All right, guys, taking you live outside from our tower cam downtown. It was looking a little bit gloomier when I peeked my head outside the window just a few moments ago. Now it's clearing up. Let's see how those conditions are going to develop throughout your afternoon. Here is Mr. Guy Hoggy.
Because of this disturbance, it's kind of going to hover around Kauai mainly. But by this afternoon, don't expect a whole lot of rain. Although, with the afternoon cloud buildup, there will be some spotty showers, but not widespread. And then starting on Wednesday, trade winds will pick up. That means you'll see a few more windward and Mauka showers. But notice, whatever rain comes in over the next several days is of the light variety. They'll be light to moderate at best. So not likely to get us out of our drought situation. So we've got fairly dry conditions, but by this afternoon, but we could see some spotty afternoon showers. So a little damp this morning, drying up by tomorrow. A few more spotty showers tomorrow, and windy conditions coming this weekend.
Well, this week, Nahoku Hanohano Award winner Amy Hanaiali'i is performing at Manoa Valley Theater, but for most on Oahu, it will be a very different show. Billy V had a chat with her about her new role.
For her, it goes back to her roots. We're talking from the island of Maui. It's Amy Hanaiali'i. Amy, how are you?
Good. Hui, how are you?
Wonderful. Tell us about what you are doing this coming Monday and Tuesday night.
Well, I'm super excited. I'm doing a one-woman show at Manoa Valley Theater called Behind the Voice. And a lot of people don't know that I actually have a theater degree. I went away to college and studied musical theater and then came home. So I've played like some really wild characters in my time, just some really strong, powerful women roles like Aldonza and Man of La Mancha and Hello Dolly and Katasha and the Mikado, and I've done like some really great productions. So this is a one-woman show that I'm doing. All the proceeds are going to Manoa Valley Theater because the theaters were seriously hurt during the pandemic. So it's going to be stuff that people's have never seen me do before. There's some hilarious moments where I really make fun of myself. And it's just going to be a really great show.
Do you find yourself that you might be doing more of this, or is this just one of those that, it's what you do in between touring and recording and your shows on Maui and everything else that you do?
Yeah, theater is a whole different type of training. To play Eva Perón, it's vocally super challenging. And I love, to challenge myself, and I love the discipline behind theater. I love being in theater productions because it's like one big ohana, and, you're really relying off your fellow actor to really, help you out. And it's just a different type of entertaining. You don't break the fourth wall in front of you. You don't talk to the audience. I'm always playing myself. So when I get to play a character, then I have a lot of fun.
Okay, so I know you don't want to give it all away. Tell us one thing you want the audience to know about Monday and Tuesday night.
people in Honolulu have never seen me do this type of show before. Maui's kind of used to it because I had the opportunity of playing Eva Perón at the MAC actually 2 times. So they're kind of used to these grand productions, but there might be something on the horizon with a big, theater production. A lot of people don't know that a lot of really great people came out of my school in San Diego. Jamie Foxx, John Barrowman, Adam Peltier, they're all Broadway actors. Like all of my theater classmates are all working entertainers. So that discipline to me is invaluable because I click right back into it. But I still use it in my touring and stuff. I do all my own lighting, I do my own tech. I do my own stage production, rehearsing, choreography, stuff like that. So I still apply it in my everyday use.
And if you want to see her, Manoa Valley Theater, it's coming up Monday, Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. ManoaValleyTheater.com to go ahead and get your tickets. Amy, go get them. Have fun.
Thank you.
More entertainment news for you now. The next round of the American Song Contest kicks off tonight right here on KHNL at 7 o'clock. Mark Barger gives us a preview.
It is Rhode Island! Last week, the smallest state had the first performer to advance to the semifinals of American Song Contest.
Yeah, I did not think that was going to happen. I was just like, okay, here we go.
10 other acts from the premiere will find out tonight who's grabbing the other 3 qualifying spots.
I felt like I did great, and America will let me know.
You're rooting for yourself. Obviously, you want to make it to the next round, but you're rooting for everybody else, too. It's great.
After tonight's reveal, 11 more artists will take the stage, representing states including New York.
I have one of the biggest states to represent, so I got a lot of pressure on my back.
U.S. territories are also in the mix.
Well, I am representing the Virgin Islands.
Some of the acts have name recognition, like voice winner Jordan Smith. The Kentuckian is now a songwriter, too.
I was able to write a song for Celine Dion, which is like my biggest accomplishment as a songwriter.
And Grammy winner Macy Gray is representing Ohio.
We have our own song. It goes, Ohio.
For others, tonight is a big chance.
It's just in my blood. I just want to play music and share my music with the world.
To make a name for themselves.
The contest aspect is cool, but we're just stoked to play music. That's really it.
Yeah.
Viewers will decide if tonight's songs have the it factor. Mark Barger, NBC News.
Is it really fair if Macy Gray or Michael Bolton wins, though? That's my question. Sort of ringers in there. All right, we got to get to the entertainment news that really everyone is talking about. I cannot tell you how many conversations in the newsroom I've already had about this.
Yes.
The slap heard around the world. I'll go ahead and play out the video as Mark fills us in on what happened. Let's listen. Let's listen.
Oh, wow.
So to set the stage here, this was at the Oscars. Will Smith slapping Chris Rock after Chris Rock made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's shaved head. Now, Will responded by walking up to the stage, hitting Rock with an open hand slap. Now, many thought it was a bit at first, that this was all just part of some elaborate sketch, until we don't see this here or hear it, but there are clips where you can see Will Smith shouting at Rock when he returned to his seat.
Dropping the F-bomb live on TV.
Real uncomfortable, tense, shocking moments. Yeah. Now, according to reports, though, what's come out today is that the tension is still high. TMZ reports that the two sides haven't spoken yet, haven't sorted everything out. So, but right now, a lot of video being refreshed over and over, and a lot of office conversation unfolding right now over just what happened.
Because of copyright rights, this is only the video we can show right here on This Is Now as of today. But also, we were talking earlier, he won an Oscar right after this and went up and gave a speech.
Yes.
Everyone's talking, and it totally took away his moment to shine.
Yeah,
it really did.
Something that was really shocking. He humiliated himself. He humiliated Chris Rock on this stage right here, and he ruined his own night, a historic night.
And I get standing up for his significant other. I think everyone relates to that too.
Mm-hmm.
But violence is never the answer, in my opinion.
Yeah, and
Really.
so we're waiting to see the fallout from this.
And here's why I think it looks so fake, because who actually open hand slaps anyone, and then like it's such a wind up.
Yeah.
Like, and then that sound effect, I was like, that could not have been real.
It was a huge wind up. Rock's head moved back
even like
a significant angle. But a lot to still be uncovered in this. We're waiting for who gets the next interview, right? Who gets the follow up on either from Will Smith or Chris Rock on what unfolded, what led to it, what are the ramifications of this?
And we should mention that the reason why Jada got so upset in her face, and you can see that, is because she's dealing with health issues, which is actually causing her to lose her hair, and that's why.
Yep.
Obviously, Will got upset. All right, let's talk a little bit more about the Oscars. You know, last night was sort of a return, really. Live audience, new host, which apparently were really funny. And get this, the ratings were even up a little bit, 15 million viewers, which was 5 million more than last year. And when everyone started seeing that tweet of the slap, that's when the ratings went boom, 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 boom,
yep.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, some big programming notes to pass along regarding KGMB, right?
Yeah, that's right. Calling all NCIS fans, gear up for a special crossover event with NCIS and NCIS Hawaii that is airing tonight. Here's a rundown of what we can expect.
We have this amazing opportunity. We're going to do a crossover with the mothership.
Vanessa and I have had a friendship for maybe almost 2 decades. What was really exciting was to have both of our shows and our families kind of meet and in some way connect our universes together. This is the most beautiful place I've ever been shot at.
Still very humbly welcoming Wilmer, but Tennant is reluctly welcoming Torres. So that dynamic is going to be fun to see.
Let's just say that these two have kind of worked together.
We're dynamic. TNT, Torres and Tennant.
That's the name of the episode, by the way.
TNT? Okay, what happened in Orlando?
I have so many questions. When we first found out that we were going to do a crossover episode with the OG NCIS was awesome.
Getting to see different characters go over and interact and see how they interact and what shenanigans and plot lines come out of that is so much fun. I can't seem to figure out your liquor situation.
Oh, sorry. That's for my jellyfish. Groovy, huh?
Totally.
I think what's nice about these particular episodes is that they run back to back, and it seems to me like it could be more of like a feature.
The script is awesome and it's action-packed, so yeah, it's cool.
Hawaii itself is a character. The entire island is a character. Any section of the island you go brings a new story.
Because I mean, we're literally on set.
With the magic of the island and the surrounding waters and the mystery that is Hawaii itself, there's really something beautiful about this ohana.
I feel like these type of crossover episodes can be truly insightful and emotional for the fans, and that's why we make them.
Our islands are so beautiful, and when you see how it's captured on these television shows, on movies, it just really is spectacular, just amazing. Now, the NCIS Hawaii crossover event airs tonight, starting at 8 p.m. With NCIS on KGMB, and then at 9 o'clock, also on KGMB, that's the NCIS Hawaii portion of it. So a huge television event starting tonight, and also can be streamed live and on demand on Paramount+.
You guys, a lot to watch. And I have to catch up on all those Oscar movies that I haven't seen, too. That's going to do it for This Is Now on this Monday. Mark's going to be back with us tomorrow as well. Wanted to leave you with even more Oscar clips. This is the red carpet from last night. Some great outfits to show you.